Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Game Dojo. I'm your triumphant host, the Game Ninja. And we have been doing classic flashbacks for the last month. We've done Atari Lynx, Atari Jaguar, Dreamcast, PlayStation 2, Nintendo 64, Nintendo, Xbox 360, I believe, 2 weeks ago. We've even gone back and done the original Sega Genesis. Still looking to pick up a Sega Master System, but in every Monday we have been doing some form of retro. Not retro in the fact that people just want to collect it and sell it to other people because they just want to do it for the highest bidder, because you guys have ruined classic game collecting. You have pushed up the prices on so many things, on so many people, that literally a friggin' Echo the Dolphin cartridge could go anywhere for $1 million down to $500,000. You guys make me sick. For the true collectors and the true retro fanatics, the people who enjoy these games because they were brought up on them, may have lost their systems due to the passage of time and are looking to recapture those moments, I salute you. And today we are talking about a game system that came out in 2019. It felt like ages ago because of COVID. COVID made it seem like it was a 5-year hiatus for all of us. But in 2019, Sega released the Sega Genesis Mini Classic. This thing I was waiting for. At the time this had come out, Nintendo had already released its Nintendo NES Classic and its Super Nintendo Classic. I was waiting for a Nintendo 64 Classic, but that never happened. They ended up doing like the online thing on the Switch, which I still love, don't get me wrong. I mean, I have an original Nintendo 64, so to me it didn't matter. I just like the mini systems because they're cute. Now this Sega Genesis system, when it came out, I wanted to bite on it because of one main thing. So when it came out with the NES had a nice consignment of games. The Super NES had a nice consignment of games, but there were still so many games that we had played that they didn't have. When the PlayStation Classic came out, it was horrible. But see, you have to be able to see the beauty even in things that are horrible. And as a gamer, I saw the beauty in changing the system up a little bit so that I could enjoy it more. It may have been to the tune of putting, I don't know, a couple 100 games on it that didn't come stock with it, and it turned that mini classic into a beast. The Sega Genesis, to disprove that rule, boasted such an array of games. And it wasn't just like ones they threw out at a dartboard like they do on most of these classic systems. Now, there were different versions of the Sega Genesis Classic when it came out, whether you were getting the Mega Drive system over in Europe or the Sega Genesis here. There's a bunch of knockoff versions that people sell too. I don't like those. I mean, if you have the game and you're in a fix, go ahead, by all means. Look, I'm not a hater. I'm not a game hater. However you get it in, you get it in. That's how we do. I love games, all things gaming, and I am a true gamer. I am about the experience. So if I'm about the experience, I might have to pay for the shell because it looks like the Sega Genesis, the Mini. And I have this exact model. And yes, I have the model, and I have, you can see right there, games on my wall. You can see the Sega Genesis right there, and there's the games on my wall. So I do have the games. Stop. So you ask yourself, then what is the point? For the joy, for the clear, pure joy of having all these things without having to pop in and out cartridges in the same slots. And it's official. Do you see the Sega seal of quality? It's official through them. And it's, even though it's probably a RetroPie card inside there in the shell that was probably printed for it, I appreciate and applaud the effort, because even the controllers are hard to get. The Sega Genesis 3-button controllers, which these are, and they're pretty damn awesome, I'm not gonna lie. So when this came out, it came out with, I gotta take my glasses off because I can see far away. I can see far away with these, I can't see close up. So it came with Alex Kidd, Alicia Dragon, Alter Beast, which is, if you ain't gonna do a Genesis without Alter Beast, you ain't doing a Genesis. Beyond Oasis, it came out with Castlevania, Bloodlines. It came out with Columns, Comic Zone, Contra Hard Chords, Heady, Earthworm Jim, Eternal Champions. Yes, Eternal Champions. Yes. So that's another banger. It came out with Ghouls and Ghosts. Definitely. It came out with Golden Axe. Definitely. It came out with Gunstar, Kid Chameleon. Yes, I'll take that. Landstalker, Light Crusader, Mega Man, MW4, Phantasy Star 4, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, which is weird because I would expected Sonic 1, 2, and 3 to have been the go-to on this because that's your guy, that's your franchise player, that's your star player. I mean, it has Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic 2, but I would expect Sonic 3 and Sonic Spinball, but that's beside the point. It's okay. Road Rash, it came out with Shining Force, Shinobi 3, so it did come with Sonic Spinball, just not Sonic 3. See, that makes it even weirder. It came out with Space Harrier, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Streets of Rage, Strider, what is this? Oh, Phantasy Star, Mickey Mouse's World of Illusion, which that one surprises me because that's a Disney property. So it surprises me that one was on here, but Wonder Boy, Virtua Fighter 2, and no, that's not the one where it's 3D and you see people ring out and fall off the board. This is the flat version. I know. Whenever I say Virtua Fighter, everybody thinks of the same thing because we're an arcade generation, and that's the same thing that goes in my mind. Jackie, the dude that was the beginning Eddie Gordo, the 3D polygon kind of guy doing capoeira, knocking people off the board, ring out. This is not that version. Vector Man, and then Toe Jam and Earl. So those were the games that came on the system. And those are bangers. You have some huge banging titles on there. I'm gonna pop my spectacles back on. So you had some huge banging titles when it came out. And that made it made you salivate a little bit more because you can see they were putting more into it. The infrastructure was better. The ROMs they used were a lot better. The sound quality was better. But what kind of broke my heart is they said 30 games, but where was the Mortal Kombat? Where was the Sonic 3? Where was the Echo the Dolphin? Where was those games that all of us played? You know, Mortal is part of this collection too. But I understand licensing and rights and stuff, they probably couldn't get that. But, you know, here in the Game Dojo, we have brain meats, and our brain meats teaches us how to do things and some amazing feats. So, we ended up putting the entire collection on this Genesis menu, which makes it so much sexier because now all the games are in here. All the games. I know, it is such a beautiful thing. So now when you're going through that menu, row upon row upon row upon row of games, that's what makes this an absolute gem. We may or may have not have done this with all our mini systems because we can. We're about the experience. Why would you deliver something and not give somebody the full experience, the full joy? And then again, on the opposite speaking, why would you leave so much space left on the cart? Why? You could have chose a smaller storage format, but you didn't. It's almost as if you left the breadcrumbs for those who could and dare, if they should, make it a reality. So this game right here, I love it. I absolutely love it. And I know a lot of people who hated the minis because it didn't come with the games that they want. And I understand that. If we were 20 and 30 years ago, it would be much, much harder to take that dream and turn it to a reality. But the fact that we live in a time of digital totality, good word, if you have the average know-how or know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, you can take your gaming to a whole nother level. Picture coming home from work. It's impossible to find a Sega Genesis. Somebody's trying to charge you $300 for it. All the games you want to find are impossible to find. If they did, they're so expensive you can't even get your hands on them. It leaves a taste in your mouth so bad that you don't even want to venture into it. Now venture one tiny cost and all your dreams come true. That's what gaming is all about, baby. You gotta live it, you gotta love it, and you gotta be in it to win it. Simply put, I love all my classics. I love gaming. I love the ability that I come from a time where these things didn't exist and they became into reality, and then 20 years later, 30 years later, they were revamped and come back into my world again. Because I had collected my Sega Genesis because I had one when I was younger. We went over to my father's house to play it all the time because he wanted something for the kids to do when he came over his house. Like most of us, I enjoyed that experience. I wanted that Genesis, and due to the passage of time going back and forth and everything in our life, like everybody, we lose a lot of things. Systems and things like that. I wish I had the foresight to have kept a lot of the original systems, because I'm still on the lookout for a Sega Master System, Nintendo GameCube, and even an original Game Boy. And the culmination of it is the Nintendo Power Glove. I'm still looking for one of those. But the hunt and the journey is the joy in it. Here in the Game Dojo, we play with our toys. So yes, this bad boy is not going to waste. This serious little machine with so much joy, I have popped out the box and rolled many times. Matter of fact, a few weeks ago in the Game Dojo, somebody was busting Beavis and Butthead on this. Beavis and Butthead. And they knew better than I did. I never played Beavis and Butthead, so they was better than me at this. Shout out to Miguel. He was the one that showed me the truth, the light, and the way through Beavis and Butthead, getting that ticket for that concert. Like, I had never played Beavis and Butthead, but I had a joy for it now. It is a very hard, frustrating game, like most of them. I even go back and do you one better. If you ever played Home Alone on Nintendo, oh my god. Talk about frustrating. But on the same token, it leaves a great taste in your mouth when you're a gamer. So as you get older and the years keep going by and we lose all these things and we lose all the memories of these things, it's nice to know that some companies pay attention to those memories and exploit it for their own pockets, but on the same time, their exploit is our gain once we know what we're doing with it. So you always got to keep that person in your back pocket. Always know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, or have a friend with technology in your pocket. It comes in handy a billion times over. Think of it as digital currency, the right way. So I'm going to take you out in this video and show you a little bit of what my system can do, and from there I'll check you guys out next time. Thank you for joining me in the Game Dojo. I am the Game Ninja, and this baby is just what I do for you, and me too, because I enjoy it. There is no victory without enjoying. And if you live and labor, love what you labor for. Take time for yourself. One day may be your last game, but what a good way to go. Remember that. Do something every day for you. Don't forget about that little child in you. You may have grown up. Life may have made you grow up. But that little child inside you still exists. Nurture that. Because those are the things that make life worth living. From the Game Dojo, it's your host, the Game Ninja. I may pull this out later on. Take care, guys.